Hello, my fellow wargaming players. Before we get too far into this video, let us begin with a wargaming prayer. Dear Tank Jeebus, grant me the strength to accept things I cannot change, for wargaming maketh the rules, and wargaming breaketh the rules. So this will be the final video in my Project Cold War Alpha test for the PlayStation 5 videos. And this will be the quick little summation on the whole experience. It's unscripted, and so we're only focused on a few minor things because this was an alpha test and things will change for the final. It'll be very interesting to see what sticks around though. Firstly, I will be comparing this a lot to World of Tanks Modern Armor because that is the one World of Tanks game that actually has Cold War tanks, has Abrams, has Leopards, has T-72s, has T-80s, has, gee, what else is there? T-64, T-62. Oh no, sorry, whoop. No, they don't have T-64s. I'm getting ahead of myself there. I'll have a video on that later. They have T-62s. So that's actually going to be the primary comparison, especially as any World of Tanks Modern Armor players will be like, they think Cold War mode sucks, or that this will kill Cold War mode is... I don't think they're right. I will say the internal competition between these two teams and these games is going to be very interesting. Firstly, I do find the aspect of having tanks that have a multi-weapon system, well, we've had those in Cold War mode now in Modern Armor, so that's nice to have. So that really wasn't too big of a surprise. It's the agent abilities, obviously, are going to be the main drawing factor to all of this, because what they do for to the tanks or allow you to do. I'm not talking about. I always Walrus is here. Hey, hi everybody. Like and subscribe if you just have to have a co-host that refuses to speak human. Come on, yep. Now, that's also probably going to be the part that is does the agent make the tank, or does the tank just get helped from the agent? I feel like once we get into, I have all the tanks unlocked or get to it, we will see certain tanks played more than others, preferred agents, because just not everything's gonna be fun. I'm pretty sure that coming up with different abilities and capabilities is, that well will run dry quickly. There's a lot of tanks to choose from too, so very few agents, which makes sense. Seeing if there's going to be any sort of there are certain groups. There's 3 groups. Is seeing what is this going to be part of a storyline, an ongoing competition? That's sort of also going to be interesting, because if this is just what it's going to be with no, story-driven motivation, like I want to see what the next chapter has, or if this is just more of a reskinned season pass type setup, I don't think we're going to be hanging around long enough, because it's like, oh yes, the loop of start match, blast away, get XP, do damage, make some silver hamburgers. That will tire out quickly, because we're all used to that from wargaming, from any of these games as a service games. So I'm hoping they start trying to have something that is a bit more story driven than just this. Again, this is an alpha, so this is more about will this game work on console, which is also why I'm comparing this to World of Tanks Modern Armor, because this is only available on World of Tanks Modern Armor. And for any of the World of Tanks PC players who played this, and if you happen to have an Xbox Series X, an Xbox One, a PlayStation 4, or a PlayStation 5, you might just want to fire up or download World of Tanks Modern Armor and check that out, because that's going to be the real comparison. Because ultimately, a lot of what was in this game, I was like, this is a little underwhelming. Graphically, it's better. This does look better. This is definitely taking advantage of what the PlayStation 5 and the new consoles has. Modern Armor is the older game, and it was just like, what, 5, 6 years ago they stopped supporting Xbox 360. So it is looking a bit graphically outdated. The fact that the rounds eject, there's dangly things on the tanks, that's kind of really showing off the physics capability of these consoles. Much better than what World Tanks Modern Armor can do. But I also feel like there is too much of a sense of realism. The tanks have weight. The armor profiles are more realistic because ERA, or explosive reactive armor, has to first be destroyed before you can actually expose the soft underbelly, I guess, for lack of a better term, of some of these tanks that have ERA. You don't really have that in World Tanks Modern Armor. ERA just acts as spaced armor, so you don't use heat or HE in a lot of scenarios. Although I will say this, nowadays, World of Tanks Modern Armor, you can get ATGMs a lot faster than you can in this, but this is alpha, but I think going forward, we shouldn't be comparing this to World of Tanks PC so much, but World of Tanks Modern Armor, which is going to be interesting going forward. Because, again, these tanks, and I did a video of it previously, of the ME1E1 compared to an Abrams from World of Tanks Modern Armor Cold War mode. These tanks just have the weight. They feel more weighty. They don't move as fast. They don't slide as much. I'm very curious to see if we could get an E-brake in this game, but with what they're using for the button layouts for Project Cold War here, there really isn't a lot of room for that on the controller, and that's kind of where I'm wondering, for the longevity of this game, is are PC players going to be okay with a brand new PC game actually being limited by the cross platform capabilities? Like, oh, we could do more with the control schemes, we could do more with this and that, but it has to be watered down or not allowed because it has to work on console. That I cannot deny the technological superiority of PC versus console, but that's, again, another video on that was previously posted. I guess I should try linking all those in the descriptions if I can find them. But yeah, I feel like the alpha test here there's a lot of that's solid. They're definitely not ready for release, but there's not a lot of kinks. We'll just have to see if they want to go more hardcore and be more of the hero shooter they're trying to be and be a little more absurd like that, or if this is just you can play tanks and call in bombing runs, which on that front, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's like Call of Duty, you call in kill streaks and stuff, but the problem was maybe idea wasn't that good, but I didn't feel like those abilities were just on a cooldown timer, like a 1-minute timer every time. So sometimes you were able to use them and other times you weren't, and I was wondering if we're eventually going to have the ability to, like, getting kills, doing things will speed that up, which sometimes it'd be nice if I gotta use this ability and not just waited so long for it to become available to just not have time. The match was over. Then again, some of these abilities are far more impactful, I feel, than others. So again, that's where your tank and your agent, we will see how that's balanced out in the future. With that said, I think something going forward, and this was brought up, was an issue for the test, was the soft currency. The mercenary tokens the silver hamburgers. Yeah, those payouts were very small and paltry, which meant not a lot could be done at the start for, oh, we want you to buy upgrades, expand your tank skills, buy more tanks that are available to be bought, you know, test out the XP progression and all that. But yeah, those payouts were small, especially if you were not on the winning team and you were even low on that winning poll. It was like, yeah. So that grind, again, we might not be into that. I have to ask if maybe wargaming is essentially competing with itself here. And so the majority, trying to give an outlet or another option to players who may be frustrated with World of Tanks PC, who may think World of Tanks Modern Armor isn't real enough, but PC isn't fast enough. I don't know if there's a big enough audience for that, and the only way for this game to bring in outside players is obviously going to be through... I think it's going to be more for collaborations. And I don't know who outside of... anyone outside of the wargaming gaming verse is going to be interested in another... It's... there might be a need for it. Personally, though, I have to ask, do you want to be playing another wargaming game? Can you add it to your schedule? I'll if they come out with a beta test, I will definitely try it. I'm interested, but I don't know if I'm interested enough to actually make this part of my routine. While I wasn't playing this, I wasn't playing Helldivers 2. And I was like constantly keeping tabs on what was going on there. So I'm fine with World of Tanks Modern Armor, but in general, I was like, the old ideology behind games as a service, which wargaming still seems to be applying here, I don't know if this game is truly going to be future-proof. It's just... that's going to be the real question, ultimately. And I know that doesn't have anything to do with the alpha test, and I'm sure if you wanted more in-detailed review of the whole thing and experience, it's like... I don't know, the phrase subject to change really does apply, and it looks good, but is this a game we want? And will this bring in new players into the wargaming verse? Comment down below what you think. Personally, I think having one wargaming game in my life is more than enough. But we'll see. We'll see what the next test comes is. If it's on console, if it is, I will definitely try it out. If it isn't, then I guess wargaming is confident that this game will succeed on PC. I don't know. Honestly, though, I don't see this taking Fortnite or Call of Duty or even Battlefield's lunch. So, like I said, comment down below your thoughts. If you also participate in the test, definitely chime in. If you're just an outside observer, please answer the question. Do you want to play another wargaming game? Are you interested in wargaming if you've never touched a wargaming game before? Also, we can't forget the Steel Hunters. Is it a mech assault, mech looter shooter, mech PvP looter shooter? That's coming out this year, so wargaming is expanding its library of games either way. Comment down below your thoughts. Anyway, I hope you keep your tracks on the ground and your wargaming RNG is in your favor. Good luck with that one. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.